Hey there, LabRat Sketch here. We like to imagine love as something extraordinarily beautiful and mysterious, but like everything else, love is chemicals. Which is fine because chemicals are extraordinarily beautiful and mysterious. So what I want to know is, can you actually make a person feel love using chemicals? To create a chemical romance, specifically using MDMA. Back in my chemical love potion video, I talked about aphrodisiacs, and the reason I excluded MDMA is partly because it definitely deserves its own video, and partly because it's more than just a sex aid. MDMA, better known as ecstasy in pill form and Molly in powder form, is an empathogenic, which is a unique class of chemicals that possess the effects of both stimulants and hallucinogens, and combine them to create a strong feeling of empathy and emotional closeness to the people around you. Its stimulant effects come from its amphetamine structure, which increases the level of dopamine and noradrenaline in the brain, making you feel euphoric and energized. However, these effects aren't as pronounced as in other amphetamines, so it doesn't produce the brain-frying euphoria of meth, or the mental sharpness of Adderall. It's just a feel-good high, similar to, well, being in love. But the main neurotransmitter MDMA potentiates is serotonin. It causes the cluster of neurons that produce serotonin, called the RAFE nuclei, to start distributing it all around the brain. The serotonin then binds to two types of receptors, the 5-HT1 and the 5-HT2. When serotonin binds to the 5-HT1, a person's need for social interaction and sexuality greatly increases, while aggressive behavior subsides. Also, 5-HT1 causes our pituitary gland to start secreting oxytocin, the so-called bonding hormone. Oxytocin is generally secreted when people are falling in love, during orgasm, and during and after pregnancy, and it serves to create a strong feeling of intimacy and closeness. On the other hand, the 5-HT2 receptor is the one responsible for MDMA's hallucinogenic effects. It's not quite understood what this receptor does, but it is known that it's in part responsible for LSD's hallucinogenic effects as well. MDMA is not as strong of a hallucinogen as LSD. It doesn't really create the tripping feeling that LSD does, but it does make you much more sensitive to stimulations. Sounds may appear in colors, and colors become much more vibrant, and you get increased sensitivity to touch, which makes MDMA a great aphrodisiac. It also creates musical euphoria, the feeling of being connected to the sounds you're hearing and moving with the rhythm, which is why it gained its popularity in the rave culture. So now, with all of these effects combined, what does it generally feel like to be rolling on MDMA? Well, let's take ecstasy. Let's say you're in a club with a friend and had just taken an E-pill. At first, you would start feeling a rush of energy surging through your body as your heart starts to pound faster and faster. And you might even feel a bit scared, but that's just until the initial wave of euphoria starts to engulf your whole body and you feel pleasure bursting out of your skin. Then suddenly the rhythm starts to carry you like a wave as the music pierces through your core and forces you to start moving with it. All the lights begin to glow brighter and start to move around, filling and spilling over everyone in the room. And that's where it really hits you. A feeling of oneness. Connection with every person around you, like you completely understand everything. And suddenly you want nothing more than to tell everyone you love them. To hug them and kiss them, and just touching things feels so amazing. And then it slowly starts to subside until you're back to normal and start feeling mild depression because your serotonin levels are lower than usual. So I think MDMA is kind of like falling in love for a couple of hours, but I want to hear your opinions. Do you think love can be chemically induced? Answer in the comments, and also subscribe and join the LabRats.